Hello and welcome to the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse, live on the Lacrosse Network. I'm Chris Marshall, joined by Samir Chaudhry, and we are in for a real serious game tonight. SLC Powers knocking heads with Boston College coming off a huge victory over BYU 2 nights ago, and Chapman coming off a close loss to Colorado last night. So important games for both of these teams, Samir.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you have Chapman now with an 0-1 record. They're not used to starting the season like this. And Boston College, you know, another team that's not used to starting the season like this, undefeated, 3-0, big win over BYU. Definitely going to be a big matchup today.
Absolutely, and that one coming off the heels of Boston College's first win on the West Coast since 2007, a win against University of Southern California. So definitely a big win for them on their last trip out in 2012. They came to Chapman, their only previous meeting with Chapman, and came away with a loss, 10-8. But Ernie Chapman, a very difficult place to play, and a much different environment here coming off a huge victory.
Absolutely, and want to thank everybody for tuning in and let you know that you're going to have opportunities throughout this game to win free gear. So courtesy of Total Lacrosse, you're going to be able to win an STX X10U head. So make sure to stay tuned. We're going to announce the question, and the way you answer it is by tweeting at Total Lacrosse on Twitter. So make sure you guys follow them at Total Lacrosse. You can also vote for the Total Lacrosse play of the game by tweeting at Total Lacrosse. So let us know what you think. There should be some serious highlights in this game.
Yeah, I mean, just going off of the goals that we saw the last 2 nights, I know Lamprecht is one of those guys. He's a highlight reel type of player. 10 Gs, 1 assist. So definitely be on the lookout for him to take some shots. And then some highlight goals last night from Abrazesi, a sophomore, really coming on strong, played in all 19 games last season, only coming away with 1 assist. So you can tell he's been hitting the wall in the offseason. So look for him, especially inside on the crease, to make some serious things happen for Chapman.
Absolutely. John Lambrecht, very impressive in his showing against BYU with 4 goals. Dropped the shoulder down. We saw it all from him. We saw an outside rip. We saw him finish inside, and we saw him drop his shoulder and go low to high with low angle.
And looks like on the faceoff we're going to have Antonio Zigarelli from Boston going up against the freshman Simon Jinkin from Chapman. And Chapman doing a pretty good job of getting that ball out as Jinkin was able to win it. Unable to come up with the ground ball, though, is Giannotti. But Chapman going right into their fast break. Andrews coming around the corner, takes the shot off the inside pipe, and that one's down. Unlucky break for Chapman, but great opportunity to start this game. And this is exactly what Chapman needs to do. They've got to come out firing on all cylinders and try and put these Eagles on their tail.
And Andrews right there with a great opportunity to finish that one. Held scoreless yesterday against Colorado. A very good Colorado defense. But an opportunity there for him to get one early. I'm sure he's going to get that out of his system and bury the rock here.
And there's Kalismo getting the start tonight at attack, able to come up with the ground ball there. One thing to look at for Chapman, a little bit depleted by injury early in the season. Number 1 LSM, Brendan Cruteau, out with a slight shoulder injury, so not even suited up. So look for Alex Siegel, who had a really good game yesterday, to pick up where he left off. As you see him hustling out, to get a mismatch here coming through the middle. And there's Abrazesi, gets it, backs in, and opts to pull this one around and into the freshman Greason, who had a hat trick last night. So look for him to be able to do some things as well.
You know, talking about those injuries, I saw Steven Caressel, a midfielder for Chapman, really powerful dodger and shooter, also not suited up for the Panthers tonight. So, you know, definitely plagued by injuries early on in the season.
And one thing we talked about on the broadcast last night was Chapman going deep into their bench. I talked to Coach Hartley pregame about their depth, and they want to go three lines deep all season. And, I mean, they've got the midfielders to do it, but down at least 3 of those midfielders. As the look inside to Greason, can't come up with it, but a nice look. And Boston is off to the races as Robertson's going to take it himself. Pulls back across to Lambrecht. Let's see if Boston can get a sustained possession. First time they've had it on their offensive side of the field so far today. There's Van Fossen, also one of the big power players for Boston. Takes a rip, and that one right into the stick of Nielsen. Nielsen, a southpaw, a little bit different look than I think most of these guys are accustomed to shooting at. Definitely an advantage and a disadvantage for the Panthers.
And, you know, we saw Boston College against BYU run 2 attack lines. It'll be interesting to see how they do against the Panthers here. But for an MCLA team to have 2 full solid attack lines is pretty impressive.
Definitely, and if I was BC, I wouldn't change a thing after that impressive 12-8 victory over BYU. And then BYU went out last night and put a serious hurting on Oregon. Final score being 16-9, but I'm not even sure it was as close as the score indicated. Andrews cuts back. Really quiet last night after great defense from Rowan Sloss, and there's great help defense from Boston College. Nice man ball from Chapman. See what the call is. It's going to be a hold going against Chapman. You see head official Biz with the call there, and he'll be on the mic at some point today. So let's look for that later on.
And Boston College last time, Van Fossen just came in, and he's a big, heavy shooter. He's got a great rip, but I think it's important for them to swing the ball around, get comfortable in their offense, and then start attacking the cage. They don't want to get Nielsen hot early.
Here's Volk, also one of the players who's been doing a pretty good job early on, more in terms of the assist numbers. Fleischman moves it. Boston just making sure they can get the ball around twice. It's Lambrick coming from X, using that big body, takes the shot and just off the mark, but very impressive play and body control from Lambrick. Takes advantage of the quick whistle, gets it in. Cuts back, that's Volk again. Looking back across, can't quite find his man. That's good help defense from Chapman. It's going to see a call here. That's going to be a push going against Chapman, and the ball will stay with Boston College.
And a nice look there inside for Boston College. If they can keep on finding that look, they're going to bury the rock pretty soon.
Phillips has the shorty matchup for Boston. Running through the pick, gets by his man. That's bad help defense, and the goal by Phillips. What a shot. Just put it where the goalie's not.
What a shot there. That is fundamental. You were just talking about Warren Nielsen being a lefty, and right there, that was stick side. It was stick side, but he put it in a very good spot. It wasn't really stick side hip. It was a bit lower, and that's one of the toughest spots for a goalie to saves for a goalie to make. Yeah, and not to take anything away from that shot, but that's definitely due to a miscommunication on the defensive end for Chapman. As you see, Herman trying to come through the pick, and then Connor Riley didn't take it or didn't hear the call to switch there, and that created a big lane for Phillips, and he took advantage. And right back down the other way, here comes Chapman. That's Miller on the goal, coming through and scoring big, the freshman. And what a play by the freshman right there. Just took it himself, saw the lane, and buried it low. Very fundamental shot on the run. Bring the stick high and bury it low.
And that's one thing Chapman's got to do is find goals from players that they aren't expecting to get goals from. And one of the issues that Chapman had a season ago was that they couldn't seem to get their offense cooking. Able to score 11 goals last night against a very stout Colorado defense. Really impressive. Let's see if their defense can play as well as their offense looks so far today.
And that's 11 goals without Timmy Andrews even putting one in.
Yeah, and then Carlo quiet as well.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the attack plays tonight. But very impressed with the freshman Greason.
There's Costola able to pick it up and then loses the handle. A lot of bodies in there going for that ball. Finally picked up by Miller, gets it to Nielsen, and Nielsen's going to slow it down. But you see both of these teams really going all out. Going to go so in and out of the crease. Uncharacteristic mistake and a turnover for Chapman and Warren Nielsen, the senior captain. See if Boston College can get something going again with their offense, looking very comfortable on their last 2 possessions, getting some very good looks towards the cage. Ward up top. Moves it back to Phillips as the only goal for the Eagles here at the 9:53 mark in the first quarter. Phillips deceptively fast. He's able to run by his guys. It doesn't look like he's moving as fast as he is. Kind of an effortless run.
And Phillips, absolutely. It looks like he's dodging with a lot of confidence right now.
There's Phillips again with the shot. Looked like a little bit of lift there, disrupting the shot, but it stays with BC as Volk's able to run it down, looking back across the front, and BC moving the ball very well right now. Looks like they want the matchup down low. It's Ward. Nice look after the help. And Chapman doing a really good job on their help defense, coming back with the slides. There's the shot, and what a rip! That one coming from Fleischman on the bouncer top shelf. What a shot.
And Boston College looks very comfortable playing 6-on-6 offense right now. They're swinging the ball around. They're moving the rock really nicely. and they're getting a lot of great dodges and great opportunities. Their middies are dodging well, and that is a beautiful bounce shot from Fleischman.
Yeah, and it's really what you need to do, especially out here on this field. It isn't the truest surface, so to be able to get those bounce shots in, you're not sure exactly what kind of bounce you're going to see if you're the goalie, and to take that shot in traffic is the perfect option. It's a great ground ball coming in for Chapman, as Andrews able to get it back. And Andrews wants to have a big game after being shut out last night by Rowan Sloss.
Rowan Sloss, a really phenomenal cover defender in the MCLA, definitely showed last night that he's one of the top defensive players. And it'll be interesting to see how Andrews reacts now. Looks like he has a nice matchup for himself. He's tested his defender a few times. I don't know if he can keep up with his speed.
And there's Greason back down to Andrews right at the corner. Takes the roll inside. And then D sticks him cookies as BC picks the ball up and starts going the other direction. And that's a great trail check. You get beat, you don't give up on the play, and then BC gives it right back on the errant pass.
I might have spoke too soon there talking about Andrews and his matchup he had. Got by him with the speed, but just hung his stick, and it would be a nice check.
Another interesting wrinkle a little bit going in the Chapman offense right now is Ancarlo not getting the start. The leading scorer from a season ago, in favor of Kalismo, who had a very effective game last night. So Chapman also deep at the attack as well as Boston College.
And it'll be interesting to see if they run Ancarlo through the midfield. It's something that they've done in the past, and he's a very versatile player, so he can definitely run up there.
Apperzezi back across. Rafter is going to be able to run this one down. Rafter looks like he might have the matchup here. He's back down towards GLE, trying to use that muscle, get inside, back up top. Giannotti gets to Kalismo. Back up to Giannotti. And Chapman slowing the ball down, only a goal down, just over 7 minutes to go in the quarter. And Rafter coming from up top. That's good defense. It takes the rip, and that one right into the chest of Shepard. The ball down, looks like the BC defenseman lost his footing.
Oh,
there, that's Kleemer.
We might have a rolled ankle there from Giannotti. Getting a nice close-up, and you see him kind of limping a little bit.
It's one of the things. It was an awkward. The whole situation right in there was pretty awkward. The way the defenseman fell, looked like maybe he stepped on his foot. So either way you slice it, he's able to jog off on his own under his own power. So hopefully we'll see him again later in the game.
It looks like we're in a. Sorry, we just had a personnel change. I thought we might have been in a man-up situation, but yeah.
There's Greason coming in.
And Carlo's on the field now as well. A few new middies for Chapman.
And there's Herman, who I know had picked up a little bit of a knock last night. So all across the board, injury is really depleting the Chapman squad. And there's Zervis, who's actually running through the midfield right now as well. An attackman by trade. Could be a tough matchup for BC. As he rolls back, looked like he might have had a shot there. Loses the handle. That's great help defense coming from Vanderslice. And the ball's going to go to BC. And you can hear the fans looking for the flag there on the hold as BC moves the ball up. There's Shepard, the sophomore out of Milton, Mass. Taking his time up. He's got Kleemer down the sideline, tightrope walking.
Wow.
That was very close.
Very close to the
A nice
sideline.
fake, able to flip the ball up there. It's Balboni, making his first appearance, the sophomore out of Westchester.
And Boston College is very impressive in their clearing game. All of their long poles have great sticks.
It's a nice cut inside, and then great trail check coming from Chapman, able to get that one.
In and out there, yeah.
And that's the second in and out call going against Chapman here at the 5:40 mark. BC with the 2-1 lead. And we've seen a lot of faces. It's Balboni up top. Coming in for BC, we've seen at least two full lines cycling through the midfield. It's Williams. Moves to X. Gostola. It's like they like that matchup playing the two-man game. It's Volk, again, very dangerous on the feed. And Chapman going against Siegel. Almost goes down. Nice look across, and Nielsen picks it off. That's a great anticipation play from the Chapman goalie.
Yeah, Nielsen all over that one. That's a tough pass, but especially tough when you have a player like Warren Nielsen in the cage.
And great job drawing the double there as Herman gets it to Siegel. Siegel moves it across. Nice cut inside, takes the shot, and that one off the pipe again. Second pipe for Chapman already. Siegel takes the rip, and that one just off the mark, but the ball is going to stay with Chapman.
Oh, and Siegel wanted that one. I mean, that ball landed right in his stick if he was able to bury that one.
And that's a great pickoff play. Loses the handle. The ball's still down, so he was going to come up with it. Boston College able to pick it up. That's Quinlan. Quinlan looking for help. Finally moves it, and Boston College doing a great job on this clear here. Able to just over the stick, extended stick of Vanderslice. That's a really tough pass cross field, right in the middle of where the sun is coming down on this field. Raptor taking the ball from up top. And just a reminder, definitely keep your tweets, comments, anything you got coming to me at CMarshallTLN. I'd love to hear from you.
And as we're watching this game, you know, we've had a couple of great goals so far, but make sure to keep in mind, vote for the play of the game, the Total Lacrosse play of the game, by tweeting at Total Lacrosse on Twitter.
And that one just handcuffing Abrazezi a little bit from Greason, the freshman. Can't quite get a hold of it. He was able to make a play like that in the third quarter of the Colorado game, but unable to come up with that one as the ball goes back the other way as Stubbe is bringing the ball up. Back into Volk. And Volk has been all over the field for BC. He's coming at the defense at all sorts of different angles. He's dodged from X, he's dodged from up top. He's always moving his feet, looking for a lane to get the ball. So look for that, especially later in the game as he's ever to maintain that. Takes the shot, and that one on the outside of the goal. But a great take by Gostola, able to get by his man there and get a really solid effort on the cage. It's a freshman Mullen. He's a big kid, 6'5", 230. Greason trying to shake off his man, gets it on and Carlo, who's working from up top. Back down to Glismo. And again, we talked about Zervis taking some runs through the midfield. And that's the number 3 LSM just coming off the field is Justin Jones, another freshman. A lot of young players on the field right now for both these teams. Connor Riley gets to back down to Herman. A little bit of an ISO mix here. Herman trying to get inside to his left. And you see how tight Boston is playing right now. Tries to force that one into Zervis on the far side. Can't get to it. The ball's going back to Boston College. Definitely a much slower pace than we saw from both of these teams in their previous games in the Lac Scotias versus Cancer games. A nice little flip move. The ball's still down. There's three of each of those guys and knocked out by Boston College, and that's great team defense. And here comes Vanderslice. Back across ops 2, pull it out. That's Van Fossen.
And that's the freshman Van Fossen with a nice veteran move there. Catches the ball and realizes the situation he's in, realizes it's time to slow it down, get another possession, get the right personnel on the field, and look for the matchups.
And just over 90 seconds to go in the quarter. Just 3 goals scored, 2 for Boston, 1 for Chapman. It's Fleischman. Got the matchup with the shorty. That's great help defense. Moves it back, see if Chapman can recover. And you can hear them calling to move the ball quickly. Van Fossen runs into a brick wall, tries to move it to X, and that one is just barely going to stay in, but flipped right to Riley. And Chapman's going to go back on the break here. So Nielsen walks it up, 1:05 to go in the quarter. Riley's going to bring it up, no problem for him to get across the midline. Flips it back down to Colismo. Back to Greason. Looks like Andrews also taking a break here, as it's going to be a timeout for Chapman. But interesting look already. Makes you wonder if there's an injury or if they're just trying to get a little bit different look going against that defense.
And as we're getting a nice zoom here, if we can go to the left a little bit, you'll see Giannotti sitting on a chair right there at the end of the Chapman bench, and that's going to be bad for Chapman if he's out. Giannotti, it seemed like he had rolled his ankle. You see the coaches going over and talking to him, but not going to be a good situation if he's out for this game.
Yeah, gloves off, hat on the back of his head. You can tell he's got his ice on his ankle, keeping it elevated. I mean, that's definitely not a good sign. Again, able to walk off on his own power, so we'll see maybe if he's able to tape that up and go back in the second half, but not looking particularly good at this point.
And just a reminder, this game is brought to you by Total Lacrosse, and make sure to tune in all season long for the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. Check out TotalLacrosse.com. Got some great gear over there, and before all the games, you're going to be able to predict the score of the SLC Game of the Week on their Facebook page, get an opportunity to win $50 to their store, as well as a platinum membership. And during the games, like this one, we're going to have a gear giveaway coming up where you can win free gear by answering a question on Twitter.
I know. I entered the contest. I threw up my my guesstimation. I mean, there's no cheering in the press box. But if you really want to know, you can go to their Facebook page and check the old comment section.
Holy smokes! Yeah, so check it out. Their Facebook page. That contest is over now once the game starts, but we will be having a giveaway coming up shortly. So make sure to stay tuned and follow Total Lacrosse at Total Lacrosse on Twitter. And
also look for the review of the head that we're giving away during the game.
Absolutely, the STX X10U.
And Chapman back into their offense here. Andrews back on the field looking for Carlo, and that ball knocked down. See if Vanderslice is going to be able to pick it up, and he does. Tries to flip it back in. See if Simo's going to got a line on it. Going to be able to come up with it and cut back through. And that's a great play from Simo, cutting through 3 red shirts. Looks like he wants to try and take it himself. Takes a big hit. That one looked pretty clean in the shoulder. Let's see what the officials are going to say. And they're going to call the push going against Boston College. Fortunate call for Chapman on that one. You think if they're going to call that, they're going to give a penalty or not call it.
That was a nice hit from Boston College.
Yeah, I mean,
it looked clean to me.
Maybe a little bit in the back, but it was as close to clean as you're going to get on something they're going to call.
That was a nice look from Andrews. He's struggling a bit. He was very powerful last year.
There's Carlo in, buries it, fights through it, and getting in the mix. Not afraid to mix it up.
Absolutely, and Carlo, nice handle in there. You saw him keep it in his right hand, fight through the traffic, and bury that one. Very nice finish from Tyler and Carlo, and I think Chapman needs their stars to show up today. They need Timmy Andrews, they need Carlo. They're definitely going to need them to bury the rock all day.
Absolutely, and you see, he wasn't afraid of the contact there. Boston College's defense playing very tight and very well right now. So if you're going to go into the middle of that defense, you're going to get hit.
And how about that goal with 4 seconds left in the first quarter?
I mean, that's a big momentum goal, as you see Simon trying to get that one right back into the center. But that's going to do it for the quarter. And stay tuned for the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. With Samir Chaudhry, I'm Chris Marshall, and you're watching the Lacrosse Network.
Welcome to Total Lacrosse. I'm Anthony Kelly, Team STX member and member of the Ohio Machine. Here today to talk to you about the STX X10. The X10U is the next generation Excalibur and is compliant under NCAA and NFHS rules. This head is very popular among defensemen and long stick middies. The X10U comes with the signature STX trestle design, which provides extra strength and stiffness while keeping the head weight very light. There are also multiple stringing holes for easier stringing. To purchase your STX X10 and other great STX products, please visit TotalLacrosse.com. Thanks for watching.
And welcome back to the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. I'm Chris Marshall with Samir Chaudhry, just about ready to start the second quarter of action. But first, we have a contest question.
Absolutely. So we have our Total Lacrosse gear giveaway, and you just saw the review for the STX X10U head. You have an opportunity to win that if you can answer this question. The way you answer is by tweeting at Total Lacrosse and using the hashtag SLC giveaway. So here's the question, Chris. how many teams are in the MCLA SLC Division I Conference? You got to be the first one to answer, so start tweeting at them right now. Get your answers in. You have until midnight Eastern tonight to get your answers in. And then, actually they will pick somebody at random. So get your answers in. They're going to pick a user at random, and you're going to have an opportunity to win that STX X10U head. That's pretty sweet to win a free head.
Absolutely. I mean, I would definitely get some good use out of that. I believe the NCAA and high school legal head. And that's a great face-off win for Jenkin, who's been looking very strong, taking the majority of the face-offs for Chapman. Looked like he had a lane there, opts to pull it out as the freshman not quite sure he wants to head towards the cage yet. Back down to Colismo. It's like Chapman getting their first line back on the field. And look for Jenkin as Andrews cuts across. Nice look to Carlo. And Carlo takes the shot, buries the goal. It looked like Shepard had a line on that one, but off his stick and in. What a shot by Chapman, taking the lead early in this quarter.
And Chapman stars are getting into a groove, and that's dangerous for Boston College. That's what you want to see if you're Chapman. Andrews to Carlo. That's a great play from the attack and from some of the leaders on this team. If they get going, Shepard's in for a long night.
Yeah, and those are the two guys. It's and Carlo last season led the team in goals with 37. Andrews led the team in assists with 25. So those guys are very familiar with passing back and forth to each other. And just 26 seconds in, is that's going to be a procedure call going against Boston College, and another big opportunity for Chapman to go on the offensive here. And you see Siegel coming down onto the offensive side of the field. Chapman will do that because they have a lot of confidence in their polls, for one, and for two, they want to try and create some mismatch and problems coming through the subs as you see the players hustling off. Boston College opting to leave their players in place on defense, which is probably the wisest move on their part, as Rafter comes from up top. Rafter, a lot of space and time to shoot. That one just over the top of the cage, but really getting a lot of space to shoot there. Looked like the defensemen got hung up on each other coming across. A lot of traffic on the inside, and great look inside from Carlo. Can't come up with it, and Vanderslice is off to the races to see if he can get this ground ball, and he does. Loses the handle, though, as Andrews is able to come up with it and fights right through it. And let's see what the call is here. Looked like Andrews stepped out of bounds. Ball going to go to Boston College.
Come out here, push out 5 yards, fellas.
As you hear head referee Biskowski on the call there.
And something to think about is that Boston College didn't have a game yesterday, and Chapman had arguably one of the toughest games they'll probably have this season last night against Colorado.
Absolutely, and Chapman ranked number 5 in the current rankings, playing all 4 of the teams ranked above them this season in the schedule. So no shortage of tough games for them on their trip. And this is a really important trip for Boston College. If they're able to come away from here with 3 victories, there's a good chance they'll run the table and come into the tournament with the number 1 seed. And that's a great check right off the top, and Nielsen's able to come away with it. It looked like the Tackman didn't even know it was out of his stick. I mean, that's right on the money with that check. It's good. It's good stick protection. It's just a really solid check as Rafter comes through, and he's going to be able to get by. Looked like maybe Scordino had a line on him, but nice handle, and he's going to draw the flag coming across. Looks like it's probably going to be a slash, which will be a penalty that they'll have to serve no matter what. But Shepard able to eat that shot up, and we're going to get our first look at the man-up unit for Chapman University.
And, right there you saw Timmy Andrews. He's so quick. I mean, he can stop on a dime, and he shakes his defender, but he just shoots that one right into Shepard's stick. I think as the season goes on, Andrews has got to get comfortable shooting because he is so good at losing his defender.
And I think that's what made him such a good facilitator as well, because especially he likes to work from X, get his defender hung up on the back of the cage, and then cut back and find a cutting Carlo. Aperzezzi's been dangerous so far this season. Now he's got Greason. I mean, there's a lot of weapons cutting across the center of the field. I mean, I think it's just a matter of getting his stick and game dialed in here towards as the season progresses. It's a nice handle as Chapman looking really sharp. Pretty forced pass there coming inside from Carlo. Looked like they didn't need to do that one, but the ball's going to go to Boston College, and now they've got numbers going as Chapman got caught on the sub. Look inside, and that's a pretty aggressive pass as well, and Van Fossen tried to backhand it and couldn't come up with it. Maybe one of those freshman mistakes where he's not getting his body in front of it, trying to make a little bit of a fancy catch there.
You know, looking for Van Fossen there, yeah, I think he could have put his body in front of that one as that one goes out of bounds. But I think the long pole coming down for Boston College could have relaxed a little bit. I don't think he needed to make that pass. I think he could have given himself some space and some time and worked that one down to X.
And then trading freshman mistakes as Mullen, the big new defenseman for Chapman, tosses that one away. So still some early season jitters for all these young kids out there. Lambrick moves it back up top. It's Volk. And Volk's got a pretty favorable matchup going against Rafter. Rafter, a very capable short stick defender, but Volk's proven early in this game that he can lose his defender, even a pole. Back up to Volk, and looks like this might be the matchup they're trying to go at. Rolls back, no slide yet. And tipped, still gets through to Van Fossen. Van Fossen trying to turn the corner. A lot of speed, big check by Nickelman, and picked up by Mullen. Chapman looking very good in the takeaway check department so far today.
Yeah, that was a great check by Nickelman. He's a big body, and he's one of the leaders on this team.
Definitely senior captain. Nearly a 3-year starter, I believe, but very solid in his game. Zancarlo looking up, has Siegel. Again, Siegel working against Volk. Look when they get this ball moving quickly for Siegel to run off the field and try and create a mismatch with Volk, as Volk's trying to get off the defensive side. And Siegel's able to come back, but the ball's going to go out of bounds and stay with Chapman. You see Andrews wants the ISO, waving off Ancarlo. He's got Zervis. Zervis working on the pole here.
I like this matchup here with Zervis.
And again, that's one of the things that Chapman has been known for the last couple seasons is moving their additional attackman, their 5, their 6 attack player who's a good attackman into the midfield. A little bit of a defensive liability, but Chapman's so good in the box that they're able to make up for the fact that some of those guys aren't as capable defenders. As Zervis loses his man, takes the shot. Great save by Shepard.
Yeah, when Zervis has a short pole, that's his matchup. I mean, he's an attackman by trade, and you just saw it right there. He can shake his guy. If he can get a better shot off there, it was a nice high to low, but if he can get a bouncer or change planes low to high, something like that, I think that's going to go in the back of the net.
And nice move across coming from Boston College, able to get the ball over to Fleischman and get the ball down to Lambrick. And Lambrick quiet so far in this quarter, 9:20 to go in the half, but definitely a player who we've seen use his body to his advantage and create some really good scoring opportunities for Boston College.
And you're seeing some of those, some of the second line attack for Boston College right now.
That's Stack, the junior,
Stack,
91. Yeah. And Chapman coming from up top has the shorty. We see Boston College consistently going to that shorty matchup. Phillips, who had the first goal on the day. And Williams, looking like he was going to get some space. That's great defense coming from the freshman Jones, the number 3 LSM for Chapman. And that ball's down. It's going to be picked up by Chapman, and they're off to the races. That's Pierce Gadursky picking him up and putting him down. Gadursky looking to move it, finds Riley, and Chapman going into the slow break, waiting for their matchups. As you see, you continue to see them keep those poles down there as they are trying to create some matchup problems. And Carlos got his man way out of the box. And Andrews back to Ancarlo. And now they've got a matchup problem coming through the middle, and just a missed pass from Ancarlo had Herman on the run. And that's a real heads-up play from Lambrick, letting that go out, knowing that Chapman was the last team to touch it. Noth coming in, flips it to Stack, and Stack is all alone in the back. And that's Herman's in the crease, and he's going to get an illegal body check almost for sure on that one, as he pretty clearly pushed Noth into the box.
Let's listen into head ref Biskowski right now as he gives the call.
What do we have for a number? What do we have for a number? 1-2, 1-2, thank you. Time serving player in white, number 12. Interference is the call. He serves 30 seconds. The crease simply killed the play. The crease killed the play.
All right, so there you have the explanation on the call as the BC player in the crease stopped the play for safety reasons, but going to be a 30-second technical going against the Panthers. And this is our first look at the man-up unit for Boston College here today. And looking very comfortable. Chapman moving quickly, but Boston College coming across, and that's a great defensive play as Siegel loses footing. That one stays with Boston College. Thinks about the shot, moves it back up. There's Von Fossen, can't get it, but really tough defense from Chapman as Volk tosses that one away.
You know, interesting to see that Boston College has a man-up specific unit. A lot of those guys are not on the field throughout the game, so you saw their sticks there just weren't on point.
Yeah, and that was Kalushtin making his first appearance of the game on that man-up, and that's a nice catch there. Chapman's sticks just haven't been dialed in so far today. Mistakes that we're not used to seeing either of these teams make on the offensive side of the field. A little bit of the dry air here in Palm Desert might be getting to these sticks a little bit.
And, if you're tuned in right now, we see some comments here, asking about the X10U head and how to win it. At the first stoppage of play that we get, we'll bring up that graphic again and let you guys know. The question was, how many teams are in the SLC Division I conference?
There's a great look to Jenkins. Jenkins takes a shot, and what a save by Shepard. All over that one, goes low, keeps his stick high, covering a lot of cage right there. There's Cayley bringing the ball up. Can't quite find his man. Apperzezi loses his footing, but able to stop the movement of the ball. Finally picked up by Chapman. That's Kalismo. Has Apperzezi coming through, and he's got a lane inside. Very athletic kid. Gets a stick free. Takes the shot. Buries the goal. Pushes the lead to 2 for Chapman. 4-2, Apperzezi.
Nice play by Apperzezi. He had a couple of beautiful goals yesterday and just buries that one. I mean, he's an athletic kid just moving fast, and you see Chapman is fired up.
And that's where you want to be if you're Chapman right there. BC still very much in this game and playing extremely well, and we're down early in the BYU game, so plenty of game left for these guys to get out there and score some goals. But Chapman really needing all the momentum they've got right now. And take some time here to answer a couple of these questions. Sorry, just answer a couple of the tweets. And back to the question: how many teams are in the MCLA SLC Division I conference? That's the Total Lacrosse giveaway question. Hashtag SLC giveaway. So tweet your answers at Total Lacrosse.
And that's for a chance to win that STX X10U head. So again, one more time, how many teams are in the MCLA SLC Division I conference? Tweet it at Total Lacrosse. And Chris, go ahead with some of these Twitter.
Yeah, we've got a tweet coming in from Stelios Krudis, who is the kid who did our shooters. He did a really good job. He's coming off of surgery, but he's watching the game in recovery now. So that's good to see him enjoying the game. Sent us a picture of the TV. So feel better. Glad you're tuning in.
I love when people tweet the pictures of how they're watching the game.
Yeah.
But, we'd love to see them. Tweet them at Lacrosse Network, at C Marshall TLN. We'd absolutely love to see those. And quickly over here, if we can get a shot of head ref Biskowski, it looks like we might have an illegal stick here. Let's listen in.
Between periods. Player in white, number 9, illegal stick. It's the ball does not freely dislodge. It's a 3-minute non-releasable foul. This stick will remain at the table for the rest of the game.
Wow. And that's Apperzezi, who just scored the goal. 3 minutes, non-releasable, and he cannot get that stick back.
Yeah, that's a really tough break. And you see, a lot of these players picking up some dirt on the field here. It's been an unseasonably dry year in California this season, a pretty serious drought, in fact, and having some trouble with the keeping the fields as green as I think we'd like. And you have to think that the dirt coming into these can really affect the way your stick holds the ball and the way you're shooting. I mean, you have to think. You could hear Coach Hartley come over after there and talk about how all the players had their sticks checked pregame. So definitely something that's happened in between the start of the game and right now to cause some of these sticks to be illegal. And now it's going to be a 3-minute unreleasable for Boston College. Huge opportunity for them to score some goals and really create some momentum for themselves with 6 minutes to go in the half. So they'll be man up for 3 full minutes here.
Nice wheel there from Boston College, moving the ball very well.
And Chapman playing very tight, and there's Kalushtin again. We talked about him. Takes the rip, and that one just off the mark. Looks like maybe Siegel got a tip on it. but a pretty solid effort there for Boston College, as they had a pretty good shooting lane for Kalushtin.
I think they do a good job of showing the Chapman defense that they're willing to take a shot from outside. I think if they're able to get this ball back, they're going to want to look to Lambret inside.
And there's Siegel playing great, loses the handle on his stick. Can't play without a stick. Lambret takes the shot and buries the goal. And there, you just talked about it. Low-to-low rip, just right off the side of the goalie, and in from that close, there's nothing you can do.
Lambret, he can do it all. He's such a talented player, the senior captain. And it drops that stick low. That's a great goal. I mean, There's not much else to say about that. And I would say if you guys are thinking about what the play of the game is, that might be a candidate. Nice ground ball effort there, picks it up and just goes low to low.
Yeah, and you see him. He created space for himself, going to get the ground ball. As Chapman able to win the faceoff, ball down. As you see Siegel trying to get it, and finally picked up by Boston College. And that was Gale on the ground ball, making one of his first appearances of the game. And still a lot of time, 2 full minutes left on this penalty, as Chapman's going to stay man down. Big opportunity for Boston College to come out here and tie this game up. Low angle on that shot, but trying to get their A squad in was Boston College, so why not have a rip on the possession shot there?
And I think we're going to see them, pull up from outside, maybe Fleischman or Kalushtin or sorry, he's not on the field, but one of these middies from up top, pull up and then dump it off to Lambret inside.
Yeah, and a different unit going to man up right now. Interesting to see a team switch it up like that. And that's a big shot like that one. And let's see if that one's going to stay with Boston College just barely, as Nielsen's out of his cage. And again, rule changes instituted before last season. The goalies no longer have the 5 seconds to get back in the cage. Looked like he thought about that shot. Opts to move it. Van Fossen takes the rip, and that one just off the mark too. Look out with the camera back there.
Got a couple guys with the cameras back there. It looks like they're moving now. That's not a good idea.
And that one just off the mark. That's great defense from Boston College. Andrew's able to pick it up, and he's going to want to try and run out the rest of this penalty. Has a little over a minute to go, only given up 1 goal so far, and he's going to be way out. Very shifty. We talked about this matchup before. Vanderslice has done a really good job against him. Nice swim, able to cut across. And I don't know if he's going to move this. They're going to go for the double here. Loses the handle. It's going to be a man ball. Nice pickup. That one's coming from Gastola. He's going to get his hands free. Unable to get the shot off. That's great defense from Nickelman on the turn. What a move by Van Fossen. Not able to keep that ball in his stick going low. But that would have been a candidate for play of the game if he would have scored that one. Holy cow.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Chris. I mean, if he was able to fake like that and bring that under, that little toe drag, I mean, that definitely would have been a candidate for play of the game.
And there you see Coach Hartley running along the sideline as he was way down there near GLE trying to get that timeout call as Riley was going into the double. And that's a real heads-up timeout. Get the ball in their best stick handler stick. They've got about 40 seconds left on this penalty, and then they'll be able to I think call that a successful kill.
Absolutely. So, I think down here right now, a few things to think about is that when a team is playing man-up defense, a lot of times they're going to go overly aggressive on a double team. And if that happens, you might have an opportunity to swing the ball around, beat a slide, and kind of have a mismatch. Some of these weird settings where it's 6-on-5, defenses kind of have a tough time playing that because it's not something that you practice. It's not something that you practice that much, 6-on-5 or some of these odd matchups. So it'll be interesting to see what Chapman does. I think probably smart for them to keep the ball behind the cage and play it safe.
Absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see who starts with it because you're almost certain that BC is going to double the ball initially, and they're going to have to move it. So it's going to be fun to watch. I can tell you that much. A lot of movement on the field, and got a couple more questions coming in. Kevin Fabry would like a shout-out for Matt Berry's alma mater, University Braemore. So shout-out to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And then maybe a little later we can get to Connor Mason's question about what your favorite thing about playing club lacrosse was.
Ooh, I like that question.
And let's see who's going to start with the ball for Chapman. Going to be on the far side of the field. It looks like it's going to be Matt Welch. Interesting call, making his first appearance.
Yeah.
Probably filling that hole from Aberzesi. Very crafty guy. Good stick. Starter last year's freshman. Loses his footing. Ball down. Picked up by Boston College. Unfortunate mistake. if you can even call it that for Chapman, as Morris is able to come in there and pick up the trash.
Welch loses his footing there, but he was moving upfield into more defense. I know he was doubled, but maybe he could have done a little bit more to stay out of trouble there.
Scordino looking to Van Fossen, moving it very quickly to Kalushtin, and then we're back to full strength for Chapman and even numbers. You can hear the stands pretty excited on the Chapman side that they were able to hold Boston College to just 1 goal. A nice look inside, just can't find Lambrick's stick, but great movement across the crease from Boston College, and that one's a pass, so it's going to go back to Chapman as Nickelman's going to bring it in.
And they're pretty quick to put a pull on Van Fossen, and he did a great job right there of pushing inside, and he's used to passing the ball to Lambrick, so he'll jam it in there. Lambrick can catch those, but just not able to connect that time.
Again, Lambrick definitely one of those guys who creates space for himself on the crease. I mean, create his own shot, but create space for himself on the crease and able to finish those shots with that big body. Greason looking at his matchup going against Vanderslice. Been playing great all game. Nice look, can't find Herman. That one's going to pop back out to Jinkin. Back inside to Herman. Herman takes the shot, and that one hits one of the defensemen right in the midsection, and he goes right down. Interesting to see if the ref's going to stop the play here, which he does. But hope he's okay. As you and I both know, taking one of those in the midsection is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I do know that firsthand as well from some experience today, actually, Chris. I was walking behind the Oregon Lacrosse walkthrough. They were taking some shots, and I took one right in the leg.
Yeah, that's not on my list of things to do today.
No,
but why don't we tackle this Connor Mason question about what your favorite thing about playing club lacrosse in college was?
I had this conversation yesterday, and I think the thing that was the best about club lacrosse is that everybody who comes out for the team wants to be there.
Yeah.
And nobody has to be there. Nobody's on scholarship, so it's just that everybody's there to play lacrosse, and everybody wants to do it. Everybody's putting in an effort for the team. You have fundraisers, you have team activities that everybody's working towards building a team and building a club, and that's what I love about it is the camaraderie and just everybody being so excited to be out there and playing lacrosse.
Yeah, and I mean the thing for me, I think, it's just all the guys. It's a lot of lifelong friends that you make playing the sport of lacrosse, and I think that what you were just talking about, the fact that everybody wants to be out there, really lends itself to the camaraderie of the players, because you know that there aren't any guys who are just out there because they have a scholarship or out there because they have to be there. I mean, it's a real commitment to go out there, both athletically and financially. So really exciting time in both of our lives. And back to the action, just over 2 minutes to go as Shepard's going to walk it up, and Chapman seems content to let him have it. Gets it over to Kaylee, as Kaylee's right on the sideline, doing a really good job of keeping that in his stick, fighting against the pole, loses the handle as Nickelman comes for the help, picks up the ground ball, and then picked off by Dutra.
Way to go, son!
Dutra with some nifty handles right there, throwing a nice little low release over to Nielsen.
Just got to make sure, when he's getting his touches, he's got to make the most of it.
Right.
And there's Jinkin. Jinkin getting a lot of playing time, moving up onto that second line midfield because of injury and making the most of his time. Zabrzezi back in with his new wand. See if he's got the same results. It's one of those things where that's why it's so important to have two sticks that throw the exact same way. Just for situations like this, you never know how the conditions are gonna take effect on your stick, and you got to be prepared just in case something happens. As Jenkins bringing it across, and Chapman looking to take some of the time off the clock here. Greason trying to thread the needle on that one, and Shepard doing a great job. Takes one in the back, as you see all sorts of laundry on the field as he loses the handle, and it's going to be another penalty going against Chapman. Let's see what the call is here from head ref Biskowski.
Free clear. Okay, bring him in. There's a timeout, fellas. There is a timeout. Okay, prior to the timeout, during live ball play, we have a player in white, number 1, slashing. He'll serve 1 minute. Red will have a free clear. Okay, we're under 1 in the period, fellas. We are under 1 in the period.
So just a reminder, as we get that call from head ref Bizkowski, we did have a penalty on the play there, but just a reminder that you can vote for the Total Lacrosse play of the game by tweeting at Total Lacrosse. So make sure to tweet at them, tweet at Lacrosse Network. Let us know what you think. What do you think the play of the game so far is?
Well, he's already got one vote for that Lambrick goal from Kevin Fabry, talking about how he's got ice in his veins. And, sometimes those one-on-one goals are the hardest ones to score.
Absolutely. I got to agree with that one. We had a great line of sight on that, and that was a beautiful goal. It really was a nice effort, and he's just a veteran, able to pick that up, and like you said, ice in his veins, so confident that he was going to bury that one.
And looks like we're getting a tweet in on the broadcast. Looks like number 3 is actually Jack Gordon and not Vanderslice due to a jersey mix-up.
Oh.
So thank you, Jack Badovic, for tuning in and helping us with that one. So we'll get that one fixed for you. And another tweet coming in from Nick Rogers: write paper or watch lacrosse.
Oh, that's a great
looks like
picture.
He's doing both there.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
So look for the RT there.
Yeah, if you guys make sure you're following at CMarshallTLN, but check out his retweet of that picture. I love that. That's great. And make sure to keep on sending your tweets in of how you're watching this game. We love to see it.
And 40 seconds to go in the half. Boston College with an opportunity to tie this game up. And Kalushtin again moving the ball, doing a lot of his work on the extra man opportunities here. Van Fossen wants the rip, takes the shot, scores the goal from way outside. Huge goal for Van Fossen.
Van Fossen has such a fundamental release, high to low. Any of you young players who are watching midfield attack, whatever you play, if you're shooting the ball, watch the way Van Fossen releases it. High to low, big body, puts his whole weight into it, and is just so fundamental. That's why he buries the rock.
Some real beef out there, right, Coach?
A lot of beef out there. If you haven't watched that tutorial, make sure to check that out. Not only can Van Fossen teach you how to shoot, but I can as well.
And knowledge is power.
That's what they say.
And that's a face-off win for Chapman. That's Miller coming in on the face-off, wins it to himself. Just over 20 seconds to go. 20 on the nose right now. Miller trying to turn the corner, going up against Robertson there. Able to get the ball back up top. 13 seconds to go. Chapman's going to have to make something happen if they want to get a shot off. As Herman with the ball, trying to cut back to his left, it looks like. Looking around the corner, Kalismo takes the shot, and that one off the mark. 3 seconds to go. They're going to have to get something very quickly as that one comes back across, and the shot from outside as Herman takes it, and that one off the mark as well, and that's going to do it for the first half of action. So definitely stay tuned. A lot of more exciting lacrosse coming in the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. With Samir Chaudhry, I'm Chris Marshall, and you're watching the Lacrosse Network.
Hey guys, Mike with Total Lacrosse. Here today to check out Brian's Triumph 2 shoulder pads. Let's take a look. The impossible is now possible with the Triumph 2 shoulder pads by Brian. These lightweight, breathable, and durable shoulder pads will keep you safe so you can keep going all game long. AeroShield technology is strategically placed throughout the sternum and shoulders, allowing you to stand up to large impacts. The Triumph 2s sport an updated strap system and a perforated mesh jacket that provides protection in its most flexible and breathable form, while a ventilator liner wicks away moisture so you'll never sweat the competition. Hope you guys enjoyed a look at the Triumph 2 shoulders. You can get these and all other Brian products at TotalLacrosse.com. See you next time.
Welcome to Total Lacrosse. I'm Anthony Kelly, Team STX member and member of the Ohio Machine. Here today to talk to you about the STX X10. The X10U is the next generation Excalibur and is compliant under NCAA and NFHS rules. This head is very popular among defensemen and long stick middies. The X10U comes with the signature STX trestle design, which provides extra strength and stiffness while keeping the head weight very light. There are also multiple stringing holes for easier stringing. To purchase your STX X10 and other great STX products, please visit totallacrosse.com. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. Live on the Lacrosse Network, I'm Chris Marshall, being joined by Samir Chaudhry, and we have more information about this gear giveaway.
Absolutely, Chris. A very exciting giveaway. Opportunity to win a STX X10U head courtesy of Total Lacrosse. So let's talk about that question one more time. How many teams are in the SLC Division I Conference? And make sure to tweet your answer at Total Lacrosse. Use the hashtag SLC giveaway. Opportunity to win an STX X10U head. That's pretty sweet to win a free head.
Absolutely.
You know, Total Lacrosse going to be bringing you guys the SLC Game of the Week all season long. So make sure to tune in every week. Before the game, you guys can predict the score on Total Lacrosse's Facebook page. They're going to post a link to the game, and right under there you can predict the score and win a $50 gift card to Total Lacrosse as well as a platinum membership. So make sure to stay tuned to the SLC Game of the Week brought to you by Total Lacrosse all season long. And we have a great game here for the first one.
Absolutely. 4-4. Both these teams trading blows. Chapman going on a 2-goal run. BC going on a 2-goal run. BC scoring both of their last 2 goals in the extra man opportunities. Chapman losing 3 minutes on an illegal stick. Went over to head ref Biskowski and got a little bit of a clarification on something I was wondering about, and I'm sure some of you at home were. After Abruzzese scored the goal, the stick check was not on a post-goal stick check. It was on a timeout stick check because a timeout had been called, which means the goal stands. So there's a clarification on that for those of you who are wondering that since he scored the goal and then had the illegal stick, why there wasn't a goal deducted. But also wanted to get to a couple of these tweets really quickly. Got some pretty funny ones actually coming in. This one coming from Kevin Fabry again. Number 17, Matt Berry, practiced his body checks on the fences of an off-campus house this off-season. So you do whatever it takes to make sure you're prepared to take on the other team. But definitely some fun facts about these players coming out. And got a tweet coming in from Michigan. This is Michael Mitchell, who says it's cold there and wishes that he was out here now. And 82 degrees today in Palm Desert. It was beautiful. I'm happy to be here, I can tell you that much.
And Chris, check out this setup from Cam Richter?
Cam Richter?
Cam Richter. He's watching the NLL game, which is on the Lacrosse Network right now, as well as the SLC Game of the Week. He's got both browsers open, watching both the games. You guys can check out on the Lacrosse Network right now, Minnesota Swarm taking on the Toronto Rock. So lots of great lacrosse action tonight, and we're definitely in for a treat as this second half is about to get underway. Tie game, great MCLA action here to start off the SLC Game of the Week.
Yeah, and that's commitment, Cam. So shout out to you. And also a shout out to Will Forsyth for BC. It's his birthday today. So happy birthday to him. But, just about ready to get back to the action here. 15 seconds left in the halftime period. 4-4, and these teams are ready to go back at it. See the face-off matchup that we've been seeing a lot of Rory Gale, the junior out of New Jersey, and the freshman Simon Jinkin out of Bellevue, Washington. So both coasts represented in this face-off matchup.
A lot of talented freshmen on the field tonight, as well as last night in the Oregon-BYU game. I think the future is very bright for the MCLA with all this freshman talent.
Absolutely, and you see, it's not just both of these teams playing today. Oregon had a ton of freshmen. BYU had a ton of freshmen. I mean, it's good to see that with the explosion of NCAA lacrosse, actually, number 10, Mark Flood, coming inside, has room, takes the shot. That one on the outside of the cage, picked up by Nielsen, pays the price on that hit, and what a move by Nielsen to get away. Moves the ball up to Jenkin. Jenkin pulls that one out of the dirt, and he's off to the races. As you see Chapman with an opportunity to go into the slow break here.
And Mark Flood right there, the freshman from New Jersey, he had a great game against BYU.
Andrews looked like he had a lane there.
And, that's something that we usually see out of Andrews is that big sidearm rip. We saw that in the UCSB game last year. I'm surprised he hasn't taken a big outside shot yet.
And that's fantastic defense from the senior Chris Noth on that. Able to keep his stick in there and just disrupt a little bit as Andrews takes the shot. And that's great defense again from Noth, the captain, really showing why he's got the C on his jersey. And that's a fortunate play there by Morris, able to come up with the ground ball, and he's been a vacuum cleaner today. Moves it down to Flood. Flood, part of that second attack unit we talked about with Stack and Spencer, looking pretty strong so far to start the second half with 1 minute and 30 seconds gone.
Amazing when you can take a guy like John Lambret out of the game and your offense can still operate. That's when you're deep as an MCLA team.
Absolutely. And looking for a matchup here. Get the switch, Stack, and moves it back up top. See what BC's able to do as Folk moves back up, and been a real strong facilitator for this Boston College team. Working on the pole, loses the handle. What a check by the freshman from Chapman as the ball's still down, and lots of jerseys going towards that one. Looks like it's going to get picked up by Boston College. Nice flip inside, can't quite get to it, but a real try at a heads-out play there by Mark Flood, trying to flip that ball back inside. Would have been a great play. And you see the flag down. Looks like that one might have been an offsides potentially, but either way, we're going to see a man-up opportunity for Chapman coming through as they move the ball across the field. Miller brings it across for Chapman, able to get into the box, has the shorty matchup. Thinking about taking the shot, moves it to Kalismo, and back up to Herman. And I had a conversation with Giannotti on the sideline over there as well, and he is done for the day with a pretty good ankle sprain.
And that's really unfortunate for Chapman. You know, Caressel out now, Giannotti out, Croteau out. These are some serious stars that they're going to need the rest of the season.
They're all starters. And that ball still up in the air, finally picked up by Miller, but the freshmen from Chapman doing their best to pick up the slack. And there's a shot from Ancarlo that goes wide, and we're going to see the call here. So it's going to be a technical. Let's go to head ref Piskowski.
5-yard restart rule, coach. Player in red, 1-0. Delay of game is the call. He'll serve 30. Big guy, if I can just have you push back about 3 yards for me, please. Thank you.
And there you have it. It looks like because of the quick whistle, there was a player in the way inside of that 5-yard bubble. Think like a fair catch in football, where you need that space for the player to operate. And again, one of the recent rule changes that the Chapman Panthers took advantage of on that quick whistle. Again, just the second man-up opportunity for the Panthers, as Boston College has done a very good job keeping this game clean. And again, you see, compared to the game we saw last night, nice look inside. Able to get the ball as Rafter. Rafter takes a shot, buries it top shelf, stick high, takes a hit, draws the flag, and that's the kind of play you need out of your offensive leaders.
I mean, Chris, we're talking about play of the game. Could that be one? And I'm not sure if you saw, that might have been the play of the game. There was just a backflip on the Chapman sideline. That was pretty out of control. I haven't seen something like that in a while. I mean,
then it gets trucked.
A lot of excitement here. Rafter, very athletic midfielder, has a huge outside rip. We got to play with him on Team TLN over the summer. Big rip, draws the flag, backflip on the sideline. That might have been the play of the game so far. So make sure if you think that is the play of the game, tweet at Total Lacrosse, tweet at Lacrosse Network, tweet at CMarshallTLN. Let us know if you think that was the Total Lacrosse play of the game.
Yeah, and in the words of Coach Chad Donnelly, the sideline is getting jazzed. As Zervis gets the ball again in the man-up opportunity, Chapman with the chance to go up 2 goals, which would be their largest lead of the game, largest lead of either team. As Rafter looks inside, and that one looks like it's going to be a pass going the other direction. You know, with the success he had on that last shot, you'd almost like to see him take a rip there.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a lot of, he's basically in the same space that he was last time. I think step in, shoot that bouncer. And before the game, I actually talked to freshman attackman Alex Feldman, who I had the opportunity to coach when he was in high school. But he mentioned to me that the sideline for Chapman was definitely getting hyped, and they call themselves the Party Cats.
The Party Cats. And there's great help defense from the freshman Mullen as he's able to come away with the takeaway check, get it to Nickelman, and Chapman moving back onto the offensive side of the field. Nickelman not venturing onto that side of the field very often, opts to pull it back out and get it to Kalismo and down to Andrews. But Chapman on that help defense, you saw one of the defensemen try and go over the head, and then Greason comes inside. There's Andrews, takes a shot and buries the goal. And he is fired up, and Chapman is rolling. The lead is 2.
And that's the Timmy Andrews that we've grown to know over the years. Nice, uncorks that rip, just sidearm and buries that one low. Timmy Andrews, one of the better attackmen in the MCLA.
And that's one of the things you see, and he's one of those preseason All-American type players. 50 points last year, equal distribution, 25 goals, 25 assists, and really showing why he's one of the top players in the SLC this season.
I like that goal a lot from Timmy Andrews. He's a captain. You know, they're rolling right now. AJ Rafter scores one. Andrews uncorks that. I love to see that.
And the ball down. Chapman's got a beat on it. picked up. Let's see if they're going to get a call here.
It looked like there was another ball on the field, so that was a ref's time.
All right, Jenkin bringing the ball in. And again, the freshman getting a lot of PT here today. Again, working on the pole. It's one of the stronger poles. It's the senior captain, Noth, for BC, has been very active, switching his matchups up and throwing a lot of checks. See Chapman again trying to get those matchups through the box. That one going to stay in bounds as Herman gets it. Takes a big hit. That one looked like it might have been high, but the ball is going to go the other direction. As you see the sideline, and there's a kick over there coming from one of the Boston College players, but definitely some scrappy play on the sideline.
And looks like Biz working to calm everything down here. Let's see if we can listen in. Yeah, it looks like everything's been handled.
Hold on.
But you hear the fans definitely not real happy about it.
I don't know. I got a player out of bounds. What do you have? What we have?
There you go.
That's it. Plain and simple from head ref Biskowski there. I love it.
And you see, I mean, both players getting into it a little bit. Both coaches pretty heated on the subject, but a lot of red jerseys collapsing on Herman there on the sideline. Moving the ball up, takes one in the shoulder. Fortunate not to get a slash there. You see Ancarlo coming in, and the fans are just about getting as fired up as the sideline right now. And there's Shepard, nice patience on that look. Van Fossen wide open. I don't know how you can leave a player like him wide open.
Yeah, you really can. And right now, Boston College definitely needs one. They need to keep this game tight. They can't let it get away from them, and especially with guys like Andrews and Rafter starting to get hot, they definitely need to capitalize on this offensive possession.
And you see, I mean, Flood has been having a lot of success on the dodge. He's got a matchup going with Nickelman, as you see Chapman putting their top takeaway defenseman on him. And that's a lot of respect coming from Chapman as Nickelman gets hung up on the cage. And Flood trying to come around, doing a great job of protecting his stick, looking to feed, able to move the ball to Stack. Stack now has a step on the freshman, but able to move that ball away. Now Flood is wide open on the crease, doing a great job of getting away. Just can't find him, takes the shot, and that one eaten up by Nielsen. But you see how active Flood's feet are behind the cage. Nickelman got caught up going for the double. Flood comes right around the crease. Couldn't get the attention of the midfielder upfield, but doing a very good job of creating opportunities for himself down behind the cage.
And how about that if you're a freshman? Mark Flood coming in, playing his first year in the MCLA, and you got a guy like Zach Nickelman, senior captain, playing you. He's definitely going to get a lot of experience and be a fantastic attackman. And
there's Rafter, time and space, takes the shot. What a save by Shepard, gets low in a hurry. 3 white shirts heading towards him, and he's able to get that one out to Gordon, who's going to bring the ball up for BC. Gets to Kalushnin. Kalushnin with some speed, cuts inside by his man, deceptive speed, nice look inside, takes the shot, buries it, big goal for Spencer to cut the lead to 1.
And Spencer, part of that second attack group for BC and showing how much depth they have. When you got a guy like Spencer able to finish the ball and as a sophomore on the second line attack, you're deep on offense. I wouldn't be surprised if BC started to run some of those other attackmen, in through the midline. I mean, you can't keep Lambret off the field for that long, right?
I mean, it's possible that he's picked up an injury or something. I know we've had a lot of trouble this weekend with players coming off the field with sore arms and injuries and stuff. I mean, you have to think that that's just about the only way he stays off the field at all. And that's great play out of Miller, able to put that pizza out on a tray there and keep it away from the defenders. Nice speed coming from the freshman Wyatt Miller. And a great crossfield pass to Zervis, hits him in stride. Again, creates a matchup problem for BC, but able to come through the double. That's a real heads-up play as Chapman hadn't gotten their 6th player onto the field yet. That's great recognition from the BC defense. And that one right into the chest of Shepard, who's been in great position all night.
And this is a back-and-forth game. We always say this, that lacrosse is a game of runs. And right now, if BC can get on a run and continue with their momentum and tie this game, I mean, Chapman's going to be in a tough spot.
Back down to Stack. Stack waiting to get the correct personnel on the field. It's Fleischman. And again, back to the A unit. Ward and Stack again. Looks like Ward has the shorty matchup. They've been going to some of this invert dodging. As Ward likes his matchup, comes around the corner, probably needed at least one more step to get a better angle on the goal there, but it's going to stay with BC on the possession shot. Ball coming in with Stack.
Yeah, that was a seriously low angle there. On
it looks like
shot.
they're calling it a pass.
You can't have a shot from behind the goal.
And there you have it. We talk about how that was a low angle. Head ref Bizkowski saying you can't shoot the ball from behind the goal, so that had to be a pass.
There you go. He's.
I mean, I think it was intended to be a shot, but I kind of agree with that. It's probably a good lesson for BC there. Don't shoot the ball when you're behind the cage.
And Herman coming across, moves it. Nice handle. That one's Titterton. And again, one of the showing the depth at LSM. Another freshman coming in and playing for Chapman at the LSM position. It's Riley looking for some space, gets it down to Andrews, and Chapman's got to do a better job of calming the ball down now. And it looks like, and they're going to interference call going against Chapman. And taking advantage of the quick whistle, heads-up play by Boston College, flips it back, can't quite get him. Those passes right on you are tough. And they're going to call offsides going on Boston College, who gives it right back. Chapman taking advantage of that quick whistle as well, as Siegel comes up, has a lot of speed. Zervis cuts in, looking for Kalismo, and looks like they're going to call interference again, going both ways. That was a really crazy sequence of 3 quick turnovers on some pretty interesting calls there.
And we have a question here from Derek Pham. Wants to know who we think the breakout team of the MCLA is this year.
Right now, for me, it's BC.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say Boston College, and maybe not a breakout team, but I think Grand Canyon is as well. We haven't had a chance to show you guys them yet, but they are on the SLC Game of the Week later in the season, so make sure to tune in for that. And Grand Canyon, 8-6 loss to Colorado State last night. I think they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and up 4-3 in the second half, Grand Canyon in that game. So, and without their best player. So I mean, there must be something in the water in Arizona. A nice switch there from Chapman, who's been having trouble with that one. As Spencer keeps the ball on his stick, moves it back up top to Balboni, and now Phillips, who had a goal early, loses his handle. And that ball's out. Fortunate not to get a push with possession.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but I guess Phillips had turned into that one. So
now the freshman Mullen bringing the ball up. Looking for Ancarlo. Nice stick fake. Wants the shot.
Ooh, he's
had
got
some
shoot
space.
That.
Had some space.
Oh, man, a beautiful fake. I mean, he was in there. If he pulled that far pipe, I think that would have been a goal.
Yeah, it's hard to say with the way that Shepherd has been playing so far today, but I'd like to see the young gun take a rip.
Oh, man. I mean, I think he's going to come back and watch this broadcast and kick himself for not taking that shot.
As Andrews have it, but a very kind of veteran move there, pulling it out with 4 minutes to go in the quarter, give Chapman an opportunity to get their offense rolling. And Carlo can't come up with that one, but picked up by Chapman anyway, as they're back on the offensive attack, and can't find Andrews. But BC going to have the ball moving forward, 3:48 to go in the third. Stubbe has it at the midline. That one picked off by Robertson, and finally given back to Scordino as he gets the ball into the box for the Eagles. Scordino, and we talked about the depth of Chapman, but the depth of BC in the midfield is impressive as well, not just on the attack side of the ball. And you can hear the coaches yelling, "Don't throw off your heels." It's fundamentals. A nice look inside. That one sneaks through. Can't come up with it. Eyes got a little big on that one. But a big opportunity for Boston College. Nice pass inside. Takes the shot. Buries the goal. Scordino with the huge shot and goal. Ties the game up with 3:02 to go in the quarter.
What a look from Van Fossen there. A beautiful look inside and great, just flash cut, catch, turn, shoot, finish. tie ball game. That might be the SLC play of the game.
Could it be the one?
That might be the one. I mean, I know I might have said that twice now, but if you guys think that one was the play of the game, make sure to tweet at Total Lacrosse, tweet at Lacrosse Network, tweet at CMarshallTLN. Let us know what you think, but I think so far to tie the game up, we'll see how this game goes. That might have been the play of the game.
Absolutely, and this one's going to be a procedure call going against Chapman, and BC going to take the ball coming up from the midline. And then it's like Chris Herman's sister tuning in, so thanks for the comment on that one. Glad we can bring you the game. Tons of tweets and comments coming in. We'll get to as many of them as we possibly can here with 2:45 to go in the third quarter. Scordino loses his man, looks back inside, can't quite find him. I wouldn't mind a shot there from him as the ball pops back out. Van Fossen fighting, trying to get that ball. Nice man ball play out of Boston College. And a lot of white shirts there. As Collusion gets through, looking inside, takes the shot in the rip by Lambrick. And that's a big goal.
Lambrick, I mean, I couldn't hold myself back there as I saw that coming in. Lambrick catches that one and just releases it low. I love his low release. Buries that one. Boston College is rolling right now.
Yeah, and that's with the 2:24 mark to go in the third quarter. I mean, this is a big opportunity for Boston College to go on a little bit of a run and distance themselves from a Chapman squad that is struggling at the moment.
And another surprise here. I'm not sure I saw what happened, but Sammy Simo also on the sidelines sitting down with his helmet off for Chapman.
You see the fifth-year grad student coming back this season to play captain. But definitely one of those guys who's a real vocal leader for the Panthers, running on that deep third line. And again, Scordino, who's been really hot in this quarter, moves it back to Kalushtin. And Herman drawing another flag. He's really got to get his head in the game. A couple of really unfortunate plays from him in this second half that's really costing his team. And nice switch coming from Chapman. That one almost picked up. Caught by Van Fossen looking inside. I think he was looking for Lambrick. That one goes over the top, takes the shot. Kalushtin able to come up with it. Looking, there's a lot of white shirts over there. Gets to Van Fossen, look inside. Lambrick takes the shot and scores the goal. And the lead is now 2 after 2 straight Lambrick goals.
John Lambrett, I mean, he's one of the best attackmen in the MCLA. You've got a lot of great attackmen on the field right now, but Lambrett this weekend has shown that he is a serious force. He's able to finish inside, shoot from the outside, and with that goal, he has a hat trick tonight, and it's good to have him back on the field for Boston College.
Yeah, and a lot of confusion going on right now on the in the Chapman defensive side of the field. Looked like a lot of ball chasing as there were some wide open looks for Boston College on the backside. And that's going to wipe off the penalty, a technical. And Chapman wants to talk it over after giving up 4 straight.
And wow, a flurry of goals from Boston College. And I think this trend of the sidelines being really hyped and being a crazy place started with Maryland. I remember Maryland a few years ago had kind of this mosh pit look, and I think we've been seeing it a lot more in college lacrosse. But probably the craziest thing I've seen in a while was the backflip from Chapman.
Yeah.
That was wild. Rafter scores, takes a big hit, and then you see a backflip on the Chapman sideline. That was insane.
And that brings us into another one of these tweets coming in from Nick Knopf. That's how a sideline celly should look. # Chapman Lacrosse.
Right.
And I mean that's pretty crazy. I don't even know if I'd even attempt to go to that, but really, really impressive. And then Nick Rogers coming in, commenting on the effort on the ground balls, and how BC is really getting themselves back in the game now. And that's a really important part of what's going on right now. They're sending 3, 4, 5 guys to all the ground balls, and they're winning the ground ball battle and creating some mismatches in the unsettled opportunities and scoring a lot of goals right now.
And, it's early right now. There's still a whole quarter of play. But, Chris, what do you think if Chapman comes into the tournament and goes home with 2 losses?
It's certainly going to be a disappointment, I'm sure, for the Chapman program. But the good thing about having these tournaments so early in the season is that there's a lot of time to recover. They still have Arizona State, Santa Barbara, Cal Poly, I believe, and CSU on the schedule. All teams that are in the top 15. As now back on the break, takes the shot and buries the goal. Another goal for Spencer, and that's 3 goals in about a minute for Boston College, pushing the lead to 3, and that is not how Chapman wanted to come out of that timeout.
And Spencer, a nice rip there, and that is huge for Boston College. To come out of a timeout, fast break, and a goal. I mean, that is so much momentum on the Eagles sideline right now. You can tell they're amped, and they're going to try and keep this going. Chapman definitely has to stop this, and it starts at the face-off X.
Absolutely, and this is about the time when, as Jenkins able to win the face-off, wants to take it himself, takes the shot, and great opportunity shot for Chapman. That one goes over the cage. Another one of those kind of funny bounces we've been seeing out here on these fields in Palm Desert as Andrew's cutting back. But what I was saying is about the same point when Colorado started to pull away in last night's game. Game was tied at 5 before Colorado went on a 4-goal run to extend the lead, and Chapman never really got back into it.
And we're getting a tweet here from Daniel Draper letting us know that he thinks that the total lacrosse play of the game should be that Lambret low release that we just saw. And I might agree with that. I mean, maybe it was the first one, but it's got to be one of the goals from this Boston College run.
And you see Boston College shutting off Rafter, which is pretty bold move, but with the way he's playing, not a bad one. See Aperzezi trying to get his hands free, loses the handle, playing with that backup stick, and Gleesmo trying to come up with it. Ball still down, kicked forward by Boston College. See if Rafter's going to be able to come in and get it, and he doesn't, kicked out of bounds, and the ball's going to go to Boston College with 6 seconds to go in the third quarter.
And I think if they're going to continue to shut off Rafter, he's got to put himself in the crease. Oh, wow.
And that is a huge goal with 1 second to go, and Van Fossen is fired up on that play, and you just cannot let that happen if you're Chapman's defense.
Absolutely not. I mean, 5 seconds left to go. That one sneaks by. Van Fossen picks it up, turns around, and buries it. 1 second to go here, and they go up by 4.
Yeah, and more exciting play. I mean, the SLC game of the week is certainly that so far. A lot of exciting plays. I mean, I can't choose a single one for the game of the week or the play of the game so far with the way these teams are playing. And that's going to do it for 3 quarters. Boston College on top, 10-6. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the SLC game of the week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. I'm Chris Marshall with Samir Chaudhary, and you're watching the Lacrosse Network.
Hey guys, Mike with Total Lacrosse. Here today to check out Brian's Triumph 2 shoulder pads. Let's take a look. The impossible is now possible with the Triumph 2 shoulder pads by Brian. These lightweight, breathable, and durable shoulder pads will keep you safe so you can keep going all game long. AeroShield technology is strategically placed throughout the sternum and shoulders, allowing you to stand up to large impacts. The Triumph 2s sport an updated strap system and a perforated mesh jacket that provides protection in its most flexible and breathable form, while a ventilator liner wicks away moisture so you'll never sweat the competition. Hope you guys enjoyed a look at the Triumph 2 shoulders. You can get these and all other Brian products at TotalLacrosse.com. See you next time.
And welcome back to the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. I'm Chris Marshall, joined by Samir Chaudhary. And one last reminder about that Total Lacrosse package that you can win today.
Yeah, and you guys, the gear giveaway, you guys can win an STX X10U head. The question is, how many teams are there in the SLC Division I conference? Tweet at Total Lacrosse, hashtag SLC giveaway. And we talked to SLC President Matt Holman at the break. He wanted to share his thanks to Total Lacrosse. Loving the support from Total Lacrosse. Thanks, guys. That's from Matt Holman, president of the SLC, as well as tournament director here at the Lax Coaches vs. Cancer. Puts on a great event. A great job bringing out all these big SLC, MCLA teams. And you guys can Watch the final game of Coaches versus Cancer tomorrow on the Lacrosse Network, Oregon versus Colorado State, 11 a.m.
And Van Fossen takes a rip from way outside and buries it as the Chapman defense looks defeated.
Van Fossen again, high to low release. He's just so fundamental. That one on the run, I'm not sure if that one could have gone in the bottom corner any more than it did. That's a hard save for Nielsen, especially because it was off stick for him. But Chapman's got to do something here. This is uncharacteristic of the Chapman that we know. They're usually have a lot of fight in them, and right now their defense is having a really tough time and look like they've kind of lost their gas.
And that one, nice handle coming inside from Spencer. And BC trying to slow it down. 40 seconds gone in the fourth. And still a lot of time left in this game, but a really impressive 5-goal lead for Boston College right now over Chapman. It's Van Fossen. Has Lambrick over there. Lambrick bringing his defender. Interesting look as Van Fossen, I think, wants to try and run the ISO here. Nice switch, able to get the matchup going. I think in a direction they want it. Nice takeaway check from the freshman Mullen. As the ball's still down, and that's going to be a slash.
You know, it was such a great takeaway check, though.
Yeah, and it definitely paid the price, but some frustration coming out from Van Fossen. Yeah. And that's the first kind of uncharacteristic play we've seen come out of Boston College. We've seen a few kind of temper flares coming from Chapman, but this first one from BC, and it could cost him.
Such a great takeaway check there, and yeah, you know, that gets frustrating as an attackman, but you're right, we haven't seen that out of Boston College yet today, and there's kind of no reason to be frustrated. It's a great takeaway check. What can you do about that? There's no reason then to turn around and give Chapman an opportunity to get back into this game.
Exactly, because this could be an opportunity to get some momentum back. If Chapman scores a good goal here, then the squad on the sideline could get all jazzed again, and anything can happen. I mean, a lot of time still left to play in this game, and Chapman obviously a team with a lot of firepower. His service looking up top. Greason, who's been very quiet tonight after 3 goals yesterday, gets it back in his stick, and BC doing a very good job of rotating to get those the sticks covered from Chapman. Nice look inside to Ancarlo, and Carlo tries to get the shot off, and that's great defense coming across the crease from Gordon, it looked like, and then over the head of Zervis, and Chapman just can't get their game going in the right direction right now.
And you saw Timmy Andrews, a lot of frustration there. That's uncharacteristic of him to throw that pass. He's such a great feeder. It was a good look, but just gets it over the top of Zervis.
And about 30 seconds to go in this penalty. Expect to see BC try and run this out as Klemer takes it across, gets the ball back up to Spencer rather, and going for the double here, able to move it to Lambrick, and Lambrick back up top to Galushtin. Galushtin going right back into the defense, trying to get away, doing a really good job. Right over the head check from Mullins, right back into the stick of Collusion. Ball out. Great defense from Mullen as we've seen him come across. Gets it to Dutra, back to Mullen, and Chapman moving the ball up the field, and that's great help defense, recognizing that they've got the double opportunity there as they were a man up. As Rafters by his man, see if he's going to take a shot up to pull it out. Nice help defense from Boston College, forcing him to move that ball offside. Kalismo takes the rip. What a shot right off the shoulder of his defenseman. That is textbook.
That was a rip. I mean, that was right off his defenseman. You saw him pulling up, just rips that one. Far pipe, beautiful shot. I mean, we had a great shot on the camera there. I'm glad you guys got to see it the way we got to see it. That was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, and I mean, it's got to give a shout out to Ted on the Ted Bendrick on the camera work there. Really fantastic work. But that ball pulled out by Miller. Miller takes one in the chest, ball down. Let's see what the call is going to be. It's going to be a hold going against Boston College. Kind of a tough call there going against the Eagles, as Chapman now with an opportunity to cut the lead to 3.
And you know, that's a great goal for Chapman to get back into this game. I mean, I know they're down, but that's a big momentum goal.
Absolutely, and there's just nothing you can do about that if you're Shepherd. I mean, it comes right off the defender's shoulder and then finds its way off hip, tucks itself right inside the pipe. I mean, it's nearly impossible save to make. As Rafter back up top Abruzzesi's been quiet since he's had to start using his backup stick. And his first stick has to stay at the table, so not able to look at it and make some adjustments. Almost a great look inside, but fantastic defense again from Boston College as Andrews able to come up with it. And Gordon been playing great all day on Andrews. Nice way to push Ancarlo back down towards the end line, stop him from coming up on the around the corner. Now Rafter with a head of steam coming up, dangerous with both hands, rolls through the triple, and still got some space, able to get his hands free. Thought he might have wanted to take the shot there. Gets to Ancarlo, back up top to Andrews. Andrews takes the shot and just off the mark, but possession shot for Chapman as Ancarlo backs it up at 11:07 to go in the game.
You know, I like Rafter's matchup. I like him against the shorty. He's got a big, strong body. He's able to run. Let's see what he does here on this dodge. But he's getting some space, and he has a big rip.
Absolutely. And that's it's one of those things. He's got some space here, thinking about it, just as good with his left as he is with his right as the ball moves down to Andrews. And you know, there comes a time where you're going to need to get those great plays out of your top defenders or offensive players. And that's great play out of Gordon again, being able to do as well as he has on Andrews. Abruzzesi cutting across at the skip pass. Galizmo takes the rip, and that one off the mark. Going back to that same shot that he just scored on, right off the shoulder of his defenseman. And there's Ancarlo going in there with the pick. You see Gordon coming up off of that one, as I think he wasn't expecting it there. And nice check, gets the ball out of Rafter's stick. It's a fantastic play out of Noth. Again, he's been having himself a ball game tonight too. And then the crossfield pass on a rope. Fishman's going to bring it up for Boston College.
And if I'm Chapman right now, go against the shorties. Let your middies go against these shorties. They're getting good looks. Just keep shooting right now as this game comes to a close.
And there's going to be a timeout call from the Boston College sideline. That's a fantastic call. He barely got that back into his stick and was stuck in a double. But real heads-up call from the Boston College sideline with 9:54 to go in the game.
Yeah, definitely a heads-up call there. Boston College knows that Chapman's a dangerous offense, and if they get too much possession time, they're going to start shooting. They play with a sense of urgency at this point in the game. They've had some great comebacks in the past, so you know, Chapman's still very dangerous. I think what they have to do is just dodge against those shorties. Let Rafter and some of their other middies dodge from up top. Andrews is having a tough time carrying the ball back there. He's being covered very well, so dodge from up top and start shooting.
Yeah, I mean, that's you got to shoot to score, and I mean, I think Chapman's getting some shots off. I mean, between the great play of Shepard and them missing the cage, they're really struggling to score goals right now. And I mean, really, what they've got to do is make sure that they're playing tough defense like they've been doing, especially in the last 3 minutes, and try and shut down this high-powered Boston College offense.
And right here, you're getting a shot of the Boston College offensive huddle. You know, guys like Lambrecht, Van Fossen, these are names you're going to be hearing all season long. These are some impact players in the MCLA, and you're probably going to see them back down in Orange County for the MCLA National Tournament and making a big push towards the finals.
Absolutely. I mean, if they can come out here and beat Colorado tomorrow and are able to hold on to win this game, like I said, they've got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of the way out. I mean, Buffalo could be a trap game. Pitt is up this season, but other than that, I mean, they have a really good chance to run the table. And it looks like we've got a couple tweets that 22 is actually Forsyth tonight. So thanks for the help on that one. As
he's a captain.
Back inside, and that one's going to be a pass, so it's going to go back to Chapman. But thanks for the tweets on these. I know there's always occasionally a mix-up on the uniforms for these squads, as some of them tend to walk off. And Galizmo now working with it down at X. A lot of really kind of young out-of-position players out on the field for Chapman. You see Zervis coming in again, the attackman by trade, and really being D'd up nicely there by Quinlan, and able to move the ball to Herman and back down onto the attack to Andrews. With 9:02 to go in the game, still plenty of time. 4-goal lead for Boston. Nice look inside to Riley. Riley gets the shot off, takes a big hit. Couldn't get nearly as much on that shot as I think he would have liked. A lot of sticks inside. Boston College playing very tight through the middle of the field. And that one, what a pass on a rope, 60 yards coming from Shepard, right on the money. and Boston College right back onto their into their offense. You see Mullen able to cover a lot of ground there at 6'6", really doing a good job keeping his attackman in front of him.
And we got a question here on Twitter from Andrew at 22 Achilles, wondering if he's still eligible to win the X10U head. And yes, absolutely. They'll be accepting answers at Total Lacrosse all the way until midnight Eastern. So make sure to get your answers in to at Total Lacrosse. Use the hashtag SLC giveaway.
There's Lambrick coming in. Nice switch there. Get the bigger body on him over the top. What a check on Lambrick. That's not an easy guy to take the ball from. Picked up by Herman, and Herman gonna draw the flag there. And looks like some extracurriculars. And let's see who this is going to go against.
Okay. I've got mutual roughing fouls. One guy pulling the guy down and the other guy giving him the business while he's down. So we have simultaneous fouls. Unnecessary roughness 13, unnecessary roughness 23, 1 minute each, non-releasable. The ball's loose, we have to go alternate possession. It'll be a white ball at that spot.
There you have it. The explanation going to be offsetting roughness penalties going against Chapman and BC. A little bit of frustration coming out from Lambrick after the great over-the-head takeaway check from Mullen. And Mullen, again, it's 6'6", 230, not afraid to mix it up. But going to be some 5-on-5 lacrosse. And I think this is a pretty good opportunity for Chapman and their athletic players to get in there and score some goals with the weird matchups they're going to get going 5-on-5.
Yeah, going 5-on-5, there's going to be a pull on the field, so I would look at who has the shorty matchup, pull him out wide, and take a nice big run at him.
And that one looks like it's going to stay in, and Rafter gets it, takes a big hit. That one looked like it might have been high, but it's going to stay with Chapman. That must have gone out off of one of the BC defenders. Very fortunate play for Chapman on that one, as it looked like Rafter wasn't going to be able to run it down.
And it's Rafter who's drawing the shorty matchup. I really think Rafter has got to dodge inside and take a big rip.
And their service takes that one. That's not the look I think that they want there.
Absolutely not. That really didn't have much on it. Zervis, he's a great shooter, but just not that time. I think you have to go to Rafter.
And great job keeping the ball on his stick. There's Fishman taking a big-time check from Siegel. And then losing the handle, there's Nickelman coming in there, going down. That one was a dive, and then pulled out by Volk in there doing the dirty work, coming up with a huge ground ball for Boston College.
Got a question here from Derek Pham wondering who's playing next to this field. And right above us is BYU taking on San Diego State. So a lot of great games here at the Coaches versus Cancer event out in Palm Desert. A great event put on by Matt Holman and the SLC.
Yeah, and just under 7 minutes to go, 6:38 as Kalushnin has the ball going against the shorty Herman. And he's got a lot of speed. So look for him to try and take advantage of some of that here in this matchup. Moves the ball back up top. Van Fossen, nice look inside, not quite able to get it to his brother, and that ball's going to go out of bounds.
Oh, and Nickelman.
I'm not sure why he touched that one.
He's got to let that go.
And ball stays with Boston College, and an uncharacteristic mistake from Nickelman. I mean, we can't quite see from here whether or not that one was going to stay in, but either way, you gotta take your chances. And still with Boston College, 6 minutes to go in the game. Kalushnin takes the shot, and that one's just off the mark. But again, you see how quick that first step is, because Herman's certainly not one of the slower players out here.
Question here from Matt Calhoun wondering when the winner of the X10U will be announced. You will be notified via Twitter by Total Lacrosse if you are the winner tomorrow. So make sure to stay tuned for that.
And there's a big hit from Nickelman, who is going to go out for the hold. Is my best guess on this one. But we'll see what the call is from the official. It's going to be a hold, 30-second technical on Nickelman, but makes up for it by getting the ball away on that takeaway check. But looks like we're going to see some 6-on-5 here as BYU back on the man up. It's Volk, Kalushnin, back down to Forsyth. Kalushnin thinking about it. Ooh. Forsyth wide open. And again, doing a really good job of looking for their matchups. Kalushnin so dangerous with that first step. Van Fossen back to Volk. Volk looking for the skip. Can't find it. Kalushnin Volk again looking for the skip. And then Alex Siegel able to get his hands on it, but the ball still down. And then Siegel finally been able to come up with it, but he's done a really good job of keeping his stick in the passing lane today and make the most of his playing time with the injury to Croteau. Certainly making his case for being the #1 guy.
And a nice kill there from Chapman. Let's see what they can do on the offensive side. They're going to have to start shooting quickly here with 4 minutes and 55 seconds left in this game.
And what a defensive play from Boston College, able to knock that ball clean out of the passing lane. Ball straight up, no one sees it. And then still down, Boston College all over the ground balls as Forsyth comes with it, fights through the double. Sorry, loses the handle on the over-the-head check from Kalismo. Kalismo has the double right now that he's working with. Doesn't have a lane to the goal. 4:35 to go in the game. Moves the ball back up to Riley. And then got an update on the Duke-Syracuse game. If you're not watching that, Duke with the 51-45 lead over Syracuse at the half in college basketball.
And Maryland and Syracuse playing in college lacrosse today. Maryland taking the win 16-8.
Wow.
How about that?
That's a big W.
That's a huge W. I'd love to watch that game. Didn't have the opportunity.
Rafter coming inside, draws the double, does a great job. And the shot when that one's on the outside of the cage coming from Jenkin. Ball straight up. Let's see who can find it. And Carlo goes for it, gets it, but it's going to go. Let's see what the call is. Looks like it's going to stay with Chapman.
Lucky call there from Carlo. I think that one might have gone off of him, but refs are closer than we are. Actually, let's see. It looks like there might be a call. Let's listen into head ref Biskowski.
And that's offside or too many men. Which was it? Too many men or offside?
I called too many men when he stepped on the first time.
Okay.
He went offside.
You got 2 fouls. Same player. You go down, I'll take it. What's his number? What's his number? Well, wait a minute. So when he went offside, someone else had left the field?
He stepped on the field or?
Yes.
And then he stepped over.
So then he's just too many men. He can't be offside if it's already too many. Coach, I'll take care of it. It's going to be one man for 30 seconds for too many on the field. Okay?
And there you have it. The call from Biskowski getting to the bottom of it.
He said it was the same guy. That's what I was.
And then you hear the sideline from Chapman, not particularly happy that the call had changed from going 2 men down, but the foul on the same player, which would have given them an additional 30 seconds on the penalty.
So Chapman with a great opportunity here. 3:59 left in this game. They have to score here.
Absolutely, this is a must-score opportunity for Chapman. Zancarlo looking to turn around the corner, gets to Kalismo, still pretty high up top, and going way out on Rafter. And there's Greason, gets inside, takes the rip, and another big save by Shepard, and tries to corral it. That's Gordon, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Chapman. 3:37, about 15 seconds left on this penalty. Boston College looking really tough on the man-down defense right now. Rafter has it, and they're back to even strength. Zervis trying to get inside. Going to feed across, gets Carlo, and Carlo takes the shot, and that one just over the cage. 3:19 to go. Chapman maintains possession.
And a lot of times those are your best opportunities right when the penalty's released. Unsettled situation as Chapman loses the ball there.
And what a takeaway check there from Morris. The ball's still down. Looks like Rafter's got a line on it, able to pick it up. Cuts back, fights through the double. A lot of speed. Takes one in the helmet there. No call. Cuts across, gets to Greason. Greason off of one of the defensemen, can't keep it in his stick. Again, it's that second defender that's doing a really good job for Boston College, and they're able to come up with the ball there on a procedure call going against Chapman with 2:51 to go in the game and a 4-goal lead.
And Chapman here, they have to work fast. I mean, 4 goals in 2 minutes and 51 seconds. That's a tall order for the way that the Boston College defense has been playing tonight.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where with the way that the Chapman offense has been playing, it's been pretty slow going in terms of the goals that they're producing. They're getting some decent opportunities, and they're creating space for themselves to shoot. But that swarm defense from Boston College is really giving them a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. I think, what I got to see from them, or you'd like to see from them, is to dodge from up top against these shorties. I've said it all game long, but I really think that's the opportunity. Clear out. Their defenders, their long pole defenders, have been playing their attackmen too well for them to start dodging from X. So dodge from up top with a guy like Rafter. He's kind of he must be tired. He's kind of your only midi that's really pushing this game right now along. But I think you got to dodge with him. Maybe find Zervis if his man slides and let him take a shot.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the problems that you run into playing MCLA lacrosse. You have a couple of injuries, and it's really tough to play the game that you want to play with Chapman doing a lot of movement and a lot of team play, and they want their guys to run hard and make a lot of cuts, and it's tough to do that if you're missing an entire line from the rotation, line and a half almost.
And it's not easy coming back and playing a team like Boston College, 24 hours after you just played Colorado, who is arguably one of the best teams in the MCLA right now. And as you're getting a shot of the upper field here, BYU taking on San Diego State up there. We'll try and get a score update for you guys on that one. But a lot of great MCLA action here this weekend in Palm Desert.
Yeah, and a shout out to Tyler Mills tuning in, future Aztec, says to watch out for San Diego State this year and years to come. And also shout out to Jeff Siegel, older brother of Alex Siegel, who's tuning in as well and tuned in last night. Let's see what the look's going to be for Boston College here.
And a different attack unit on it. It looks like what we would like to call defensive attack for Chapman is on the field right now.
Siegel loses his footing going for the cut there. I think misjudged the speed of Kalushtin as he's able to get by. Nickelman way out on him, and there's going to be three guys there able to cut that one back inside. Two red shirts. That's great man ball play from Boston College. Goes over the head on Lambert. Lambert keeps it in his stick, scores the goal. And that's 12-7 with 2:27 to go, as Chapman had to pull Nielsen to get an extra man defending.
And that's 4 goals for Lambrecht.
Again, back-to-back nights.
Again, 4 goals against BYU, 4 goals against Chapman. That kind of starts to bring the word All-America into my head.
I mean, if that's the way you're playing, I mean, I think Player of the Year isn't out of the question. I mean, these are two of the top-rated teams in the country right now, and we saw what BYU did to Oregon last night. And there's Zagrelli with the face-off win. Ball goes out of bounds to Chapman, but Zagrelli, the sophomore, making his one of his first appearances for the Eagles, appear to be clearing the bench out a little bit to get some of their younger, less experienced guys out on the field.
And Tyler Mills, given his response to the Total Lacrosse gear giveaway question, but make sure to tweet that at Total Lacrosse with the hashtag SLC giveaway.
And then getting it to Rafter is Mullen, and 1:59 to go in the game. Rafter shakes off 2 defenders, loses the handle there, and the ball picked up by Boston College again, just crushing the ground ball game right now. And then looking for Van Fossen, the freshman, can't find him. He's going to go back to Chapman with 1:47 to go in the game. And a hospital pass up to Jenkins. Jenkins got to run towards that ball and get it as a good jump on it from the Boston College defender, Fishman. And again, it's about the third unit in for Chapman on attack. Again, getting some of their younger guys some runs as well, as this game pretty close to out of reach for the Panthers. And what a shot by Rafter, straight over the head. And that leads to the question, why hasn't he been taking that shot all night?
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Rafter is a phenomenal player. We saw him, I think, score 8 goals against Minnesota Duluth 2 years ago with those dodges down the right and left alley. He's just as good with his left hand as he is with his right hand. One of the best midfielders in the MCLA, and I don't know why he wasn't dodging more throughout this game. He was drawing a shorty matchup most of the time. They got to give him space and just let him go down and shoot the Brock just like he did right there.
Let's see what the call is here.
Tilted forward.
Said the head was tilted forward, and that's the third
In-home.
procedure
It is the
call.
in-home. It's not 3-3, it's in-home. That's all right, get the first in the book. Just have one come off.
And you see that's the first time I've actually seen this called is a third procedure going against the face-off man, leads to a 30-second technical served by the in-home.
and that's tough for Chapman right now. A great goal from Rafter, and he can score quickly. If they were able to win another faceoff, I wouldn't be surprised if he could go back at it. But man up for Boston College. They're definitely going to look to eat some clock as we're just about a minute left in this game.
Yeah, I'd honestly be surprised if they even go towards the cage. But, I mean, we've seen them take a couple empty netters from BYU, but Siegel playing way out on Kalushtin, and you can see them going into the double, and there's Nielsen way out of the crease, and there's Forsyth wide open in the middle of the field. As you see Van Fossen getting shut off by Nielsen. And interesting to see what they do here.
That's got to be a penalty.
He's going to get the flag for taunting. I mean, you just can't do that.
You just can't do that. You just can't get in his face. No reason for that. No place for that in a game like this. Van Fossen, he played great all night. He's a captain on this team. You got to keep your composure in that situation.
That's certainly not the sportsmanship you're looking for out of your captain, and a senior at that. And Biz not making the call on this one, but it's going to be a unsportsmanlike going against Boston College on Van Fossen, and probably a push with possession going against Mullen. And you see Siegel going over there and tapping the freshman on the back, and Chapman going to start with it because of the dead ball penalty going against Boston College, even 5-on-5 with 30 seconds to go, and that's how we're going to finish 5-on-5. Nice cut inside, looking, takes the shot, and what a finish! That one coming from Alex Tomei, the sophomore, on his first touch of the game. 24 seconds to go, the lead is now 3.
How about that play from Chapman? I mean, it looks like they're turning it on. It might be a little bit too late, but a very impressive play from Chapman, and I think a few flashes of brilliance here towards the end, and I'm sure Chapman is going to go back, look at this tape, watch this broadcast, and think, hey, there's a lot that we can learn here, and we do have the talent. We just got to turn it on early.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing for Chapman is not turning it on. It's just not turning it off for a quarter, which seems to be the problem. And it happened to be the third quarter of the last two nights. But, I mean, it's tough to go back-to-back against teams as good as both of these teams are, but that's how it's going to be in the tournament, and that's why it's important to play matchups like this. Jenkins takes the shot and scores the goal, and just like that, the lead is 2 with 15 seconds to go. I'm not going to say I'm optimistic, but I've seen stranger things.
We've seen crazier things here on the Lacrosse Network, and great to see two of your young players getting into it towards the end of this game. I mean, if they can win on this faceoff and do the same thing, it's a one-goal game.
And I mean that's important for the ranking purposes. If nothing else, if they're able to cut this lead to 1, which I think is still a really tall order, it looks a lot better than a 7-12 loss. I can tell you that much. And in terms of the youth on those plays, you have Tomei with the goal coming from Connor Riley, both sophomores, and then Simon Jenkins, the freshman face-off guy, coming in and scoring a goal. So Chapman definitely flexing their muscle in terms of their younger players. Makes you wonder why we didn't see them a little earlier in the game.
Absolutely. And talk to me about what does this mean for Boston College if they are able to come away with this victory?
It's huge. It's a huge game for them to come away with this victory. Even if they go in and lose to Colorado, which I think is going to be a fantastic game, they could realistically have 1 loss on the season. If they play like this, I think that they'll win the rest of their games, and they've got a real shot at coming in with a number 1 or a number 2 seed, depending on what Colorado and Colorado State do for the rest of the season.
And that's going to be an interesting game tomorrow to see. I mean, Boston College coming off of 2 games and going in to play arguably one of the best teams in the nation.
Yeah, definitely. For my money, Colorado is a step above everyone else right now.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw that in their attack. Jack Cranston and Riley Siddell, I think that those guys don't really have a matchup in the MCLA. They're too good.
Absolutely. I mean, because you see the guys that they're throwing at them who've been doing a really good job, and then down to last 7 seconds, ball still down. Looks like Boston College is going to be able to just flip it up, and that's going to do it for 4 quarters of action. It's a 2-goal win. Not going to call it an upset for Boston College, but a huge victory for their program and the team this season.
And Chapman walking away from this weekend and starting their season off 0-2, something that Chapman is not used to doing and uncharacteristic of a team like Chapman.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since Chapman has started the season 0-2. I know for sure that it hasn't happened since 2003. So some soul searching that needs to be done back at Ernie Chapman Stadium and the Panthers when they get on the bus right now. But definitely take advantage of that Total Lacrosse contest for the best play of the game. There's a lot to choose from. They're going to choose one at random. You have until midnight Eastern tonight to get those tweets in. So tweet at Total Lacrosse for the play of the game.
And Chris, the question for the gear giveaway is actually how many teams are there in the SLC Division 1 conference, and that's how you win the gear, the STX X10U head. So make sure to tweet at them with your answer. You have until midnight Eastern tonight for that, as well as tweet at them for what you thought was the play of the game. And I think it has to be one of those plays from Boston College's run.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that play on the Gilman right at the end. I think it was Van Fossen on the goal where that one just snuck through. I mean, that's a great play, and it's one of those ones that really kind of spurred on what Boston College was trying to do. But there's too many to choose from. Chapman had a bunch of really good shots. Raptor had some. Lambrick had 3 or 4 that could be the game's best play. So you just go out there and choose which one. Rewatch the game if you have to, and definitely make sure to keep those tweets coming. But as always, a special thanks to all of you tuning in. We wouldn't be able to bring these games to you without your support. So huge shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in to the SLC Game of the Week. Any last words, Samir?
Yeah, absolutely. We have to give a huge thank you to Total Lacrosse for bringing you guys the SLC Game of the Week all season long. A big shout out to Matt Holman and the SLC for putting on the Coaches versus Cancer event out here in Palm Desert. This has been a great event, and we cap off the weekend tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific. You can tune in right here on the Lacrosse Network to watch Oregon take on Colorado State. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, definitely, and also a special thanks to Colin and Julian running the streams back in LA. The best in the business, Ted Bendrick running the camera. Always a pleasure to have him out here, and all the fans that came out. It's really always nice to be on the same side as the fans. And thank you for tuning in to the SLC Game of the Week, brought to you by Total Lacrosse. For Samir Chaudhry, I'm Chris Marshall, and as always, stay laxy.